Jobs are not posting the pay. Hi people, I am exploring jobs. They don't post the pay online. I really need to know what the range is to avoid wasting time. When I spoke with an HR recruiter, she wouldn't discuss any pay ranges on any postings. The descriptions don't require more than 10 years experience or a college degree. A college degree is preferred, but not required. I have more. How do I find out the pay? Do today's jobs that require work from home due to COVID, pay enough to cover housing costs, and the costs to work from home? I mean yes, I agree with you that it's important you know the pay and that it should be posted. It's stupid that recruiters don't, and even more stupid that they refuse to tell you even once you're proactive and ask about it. Would be surprised if anyone here disagrees. NGL. Just not sure what we can do about it. I do agree with you, it is stupid, and I've ran through a lot of job postings without their expected salary being posted. At first I thought it'd be impolite and figured I'd find out once I'm in. But no, I almost dodged the bullet there as I discovered those were scams. Your empathy means a lot. I edited my post to include what average housing costs for a single person in my area, not for a family. Singles need $55,000 to start, then you have to add internet, office equipment. I need to know if they require a separate computer since I don't use mine for any work activity. Do they require a separate phone? Those are basics. When I worked for a company we lent out company cars, so that was part of my conversation. I was open and upfront. This recruiter sounded a little intimidated by me. I'm from New York, and all she could say is, "Where are you from?" No interpersonal skills. She was eager to get me off the phone. I feel like having to admit my salary requirements if they can't admit theirs. That's the only way to save time. I made $55,000 many years ago. Times are different now. That would be $45.83 gross income to make it work. What does a person do if the employer wants to start people out at entry level and you've been working over 25 years? I still need a roof over my head. House building. Gonna suggest you look for state and federal work. There is transparency with these jobs, unlike 99.9% of private work, especially federal jobs. You will usually know what the pay range is immediately. With federal they even list the requirements to start at what salary. State jobs seem to pay less than public jobs from what I've seen. Electricians 40K, they can make 50-60K in public. Defense lawyers 75K, a lot more in public. Finance and accounting around 45-60K for the mid-tier levels, etc. It is frustrating and especially a waste of time when they tell you their expectations. This just happened to me a couple weeks ago. I applied for a position at a different company. At the time I made $18 an hour, but with my experience I should be able to make more. Interviewer: we appreciate your interest and look forward to letting you know whether we are offering you the position. So do you have any questions? Me: well, thank you for your time. I actually have one question. What is the pay for the position and what shift is expected? It wasn't stated in the post. Interviewer: I cannot reveal that information. You will find out when we give you an offer. In my opinion and experience, employers will often conceal the pay as long as possible in order to get more applicants. This is because they know the pay is not competitive. Employers who pay well and know it, proudly advertise it. It's the name of the game. Scour Glassdoor and anything you can find online. You won't know all the details until you're on board. Usually recruiters ask you what you want, and that's when you can gauge them on what they're offering. I always ask the range for the position in an HR screening. If they redirect to my income, I simply state my current income covers different environments and cover varying responsibilities in comparison to the new role, and then redirect to the range of the position. Not interested in a job in which they are not willing to disclose this. If the recruiter won't discuss pay, could you still let the recruiter know your expectations/requirements? If it's not in line with the role, they won't move forward with you. They're not required to disclose pay information. The reason most companies do this is as a leveraging tactic. Once you say how much you'd be willing to take, that's how much they'll offer you. There's usually a budget for a certain candidate ranging from a recent graduate/inexperienced to senior with multiple degrees. Always go with the market rate in your area. Never disclose your previous salary. I know in my state, New Jersey, it is illegal to ask for your previous employer's salary. They can pay you whatever the minimum wage is in the state. Most likely they won't, but technically they can. You can always be blunt and ask for the pay up front. As for insurance, you can ask for a range or ask them the insurance provider's name and look up the costs on their website. I would recommend to take a look at the company in Glassdoor. Former employees share their past salaries range there. I mean, we all know why they do this, right? Employers' main goal is to find people they can exploit for the least amount of money. They do this under the guise that they want someone who wants the job itself and they don't want someone money hungry. It is probably a generational thing because it seems that younger people have no job loyalty, especially jobs that take advantage of them. Most employees are going to jump ship to work at a higher paying job. Especially in this economy where it is a matter of survival. I got fired from a job I loved. It was 100% my fault. But now I feel a bit empty. I live in a relatively small town, so there isn't a plethora of opportunities. I am 25 and I was there for just over 2 years. I've had a handful of jobs, but this is the first one that I didn't hate. The people there were great and management was great. I would actually look forward to going and having a good time with everyone. Just something about the environment made it rare. This job helped turn me from a quiet introvert into somewhat of an extrovert with a great social circle, and I actually met my current girlfriend there. This happened sudden and I'm getting inundated with messages from friends asking what happened and where I went. I feel shitty. I feel like it is going to be near impossible to find a job I like as much. I'm dreading telling my family what happened. I have enough savings to pay bills for at least 3 months, and I'm sure family would help if worse came to worse. I just feel like crap. I'm not sure what steps to take. Maybe I could use this as an opportunity to go back to college. I just don't know for what. That's always been my problem. I would like to take a break from the work grind for a while, but I also feel weird without a job and anxious and am unable to enjoy my free time. What should I do? Sulk for a while? Immediately force myself to start job searching? Reevaluate what I want to do with my life and maybe try to get an actual career instead of just a job? First, breathe. You will get past this time. I've been in similar situations, and this too shall pass. Now that you are breathing again, here's what I propose. 1. Take a few days to sulk. I don't like using that word because I think you should take time to reflect on your experience and really allow yourself to feel it. It will help you move on faster by allowing the emotions to happen. 2. Near the end of this week, start making a plan. Do you want to be in the same industry or niche? Do you want to live in the same town? Have you checked in on remote jobs? They are more commonplace given the COVID-19 pandemic. 3. Give yourself a day to finish the second point. Why would you use your savings? File for unemployment. You have paid taxes for the last 2 years for this exact situation. I'm sorry to hear. You definitely need some time to process what has happened. We all make mistakes. It's hard to see now, but you will find something just as good, if not better. You are only 25. I wouldn't go back to school if you don't know what for, but look online to see what classes or programs pique your interest. You could do part-time work and part-time school. I want to start off by telling how sorry I am that you lost your job. I can't imagine what you're going through right now. There is some positive out of this though. You're not totally screwed due to the fact that you have a 3-month nest. In terms of free time, maybe read some professional development books and spend time in nature. If you need a few days to sulk, by all means take it. Lastly, don't overdo the job application process. You don't want to burn out and sink into a state of worse anxiety. The last thing I wanted to add, do not get discouraged by the interviewing process. In my recent job search, I got rejected by an $11.50 an hour job and felt like a total loser. But by God's grace, I got hired onto a well-paying, salaried position during a pandemic. You will find your inner strength, just don't give up hope. Ex-boss tried to fight me so I quit. What do I tell interviewers? So my ex-boss legit tried to fight me. Cussed and screamed at me and was pushing my chest while throwing a swing or two me. Had to be separated and police were called. I resigned immediately. Now I am wondering how much of this should I tell potential employees. Should I not mention it at all and lie? Or will people understand why I had to leave that job? What is a good reason to leave a job? I've always wondered how references work in situations like this. I mean, it works fine, you just don't get a reference. Find out if you can get a good reference from someone at the company besides this boss. HR sounds about right. And just tell your new employer you left because you had a sick relative. No. Don't do this. They will assume or jump to thinking you may leave again for a sick relative. Disagreed with the direction the management wanted to go with the position. Didn't see any long-term opportunities for growth, decided you needed a more collaborative environment instead of competitive, didn't like the commute, felt like you didn't have the ability to employ your professional skills and knowledge to the best of your ability. Really anything besides a sick family member, a child, spouse, whatever. Keep any personal info out of the discussion. And if your boss tried to fight you, I mean all of the above are likely truthful even if rewritten in a more positive manner. Continue this thread. Do you have a police report with what happened? If so, maybe avoid it, and if they ask, provide it and state you didn't want to bring it up unnecessarily. Don't follow this advice. Never spill baggage to a potential employer. You're better off just not putting it on your resume. Or if you must, just don't allow them to contact them for a reference. I got a job offer after 3 years of searching. I am very excited and nervous to finally have a job. I don't have to feel embarrassed to tell people I'm still unemployed anymore. Honestly worried I only got the job because everything was online. I had to record my answers for the interview rather than going in, which I think is the only reason I did better than usual. But still a win for my anxiety, as the interview was always the hardest even if I felt I could do the job well. Long time lurker on this sub, so thanks and good luck to everyone. Grats. I hope in future I also get to share my success after college. Thank you, I hope so too. Congratulations on the win. You deserve this opportunity. If I may ask, how did you survive these past 3 years in terms of finance? Did you do odd jobs here and there? I just graduated from college, but seeing how things are going I don't expect any offers soon, so I need to mentally prepare myself too. Essentially, it was only possibly because of a parent willing to help in my country's job seeker program. Though they didn't provide much help either. We also moved to a smaller town at the beginning of the year, which meant we had COVID, bushfires and a town of people who don't like outsiders. LOL. Good luck to you though. Congrats, it's been a year for me and still hunting. Loudly crying face. I hate this. I feel you, you'll find something. I got basically 2 job offers in 1 week after a year of trying. If we are determined and bettering ourselves during this time, I think anyone will have success eventually. It's been a year for me too. Loudly crying face. Loudly crying face. I hope so. This is excruciating. Good luck. Congratulations dude. I myself just got a job after 2 months 11 months of searching. LMAO. Congratulations, I'm sure you'll be amazing at it. I hope you love the new job. Big congrats, treat yourself to a nice meal. Going on 18 months here, had some very close interviews. Congratulations. I hope this will help you regain your confidence and overcome your anxiety. Unemployment can be so disheartening. Of course, landing the job is not the solution to anxiety, but now you can turn your attention to self-care so you can be at your best for this next phase. Congratulations. But please, I know it's hard to think otherwise, but there's nothing wrong with being unemployed. As long as you're still putting effort in, any amount, then you're good. Congratulations on the success of your search. May I ask for advice on how you did it? I am on the same boat as you once were, but my gap is increasing day by day. You are happy in your new job. Never be embarrassed to say you are unemployed. You never know who can help you find a position. Example story, person was laid off from a senior bank job. Ended up talking with their gardener. Gardener talking to another client found out the second client needed a bank executive. The gardener connected the two. You just don't know who can help you find a position. Unemployment isn't something to be embarrassed about. That's great to hear. Best of luck in this new stage. Is it just me? Why do I think that jobs nowadays are becoming increasingly complex and hard to perform? I've had jobs ranging from minimum wage to nearly 6 figures. What do they all have in common? End number X200B, they're all very stressful and overwhelming. End number X200B, most of them could only be done right if you give it 110% day in and day out. Not only is that not a sustainable way to live and work, this situation makes it much harder to get a promotion, since in order to get a raise, you have to exceed expectations. But how can you exceed expectations if the expectations keep exceeding itself? Not only that, companies are getting more and more selective about who they consider qualified for the job. Most are also understaffed. Call me radical, but I believe that every average Joe should be able to complete an average job with 50 to 70% of their effort, with the remaining 30% 50% of room for them to rest, think, cover for a colleague on sick leave, and work harder to exceed expectations. Modern technology is a double-edged sword. It has increased productivity, but has simultaneously increased the expectations by an even larger margin. Do you feel the same at work? Pretty much what is standard in my field, marketing, since the last crisis in 2008, you literally have to know 4 to 5 jobs as one person. Graphic design, online marketing, print media booking, movie post-production, and of course social media. Meanwhile, the payment in that field hasn't seen any significant rise in at least 15 years. Dude, I'm seeing marketing roles demanding data viz skills these days. It is completely insane. Too many kids go into marketing thinking they'll be like Don Draper. Lol. Also, I think we should be allotted time for development. All of these companies are full of nonsense about progression, yet if you have to keep giving 110%, where is the time to take on extra optional responsibility which might see you develop the skills to move up? And then they have the cheek to question our loyalty to their company. Why would we stay if we'll be stuck in this job forever? Or toast it that we're lazy or just can't hack it when we finally burn out or end up with stress and don't want to come to work anymore. I for the most part feel the same. With jobs nowadays always expecting 110% all the time. The endless amount of job postings I have seen that are entry-level, pay minimum wage, and ask for a degree and 5 years experience. You are not a radical for thinking that the average Joe should be able to compete their job with 50% 70% of their efforts. I am assuming that this means there would be less work or more time to do this work, which they can put their efforts into, not stress rushing, though the job making errors less likely, as you said, exceed expectations. But also when someone calls in sick, the amount of work that gets passed to others is not an unrealistic amount of work to finish within an expected time. Exactly. Regular level jobs should only require regular effort levels. I think giving 110% should be a choice rather than a requirement, unless you're training to be a fighter jet pilot or an elite athlete. I think the trick is to accept a job you're overqualified for. Sure, you'll make less money, but you'll breeze through it. I use maybe 5% of what I learned in university, which is unfortunate in a way, but also allows me to have a better work-life balance and to enjoy my job even on days where I'm not able to give my 100%. Part of the reason is the push for a $15.00/HR minimum wage. That results in some minimum wage workers losing their jobs, and squeezing more out of those who are still working. I know only a handful of places have a $15 minimum wage, but it is trending in that direction and companies are preparing for that.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.